Coming up on Hashtag That, it's April Fools. Have you ever tried to play a prank on someone? We asked Q30 members just that to see how they've taken advantage of this day of tricks.
Plus, WQAQ released its Springfest headliner, and now the countdown is on. We'll update you on how the organization is getting ready for its big day.
Between that and all the celebrity tea we have in store, you won't want to miss this episode. From Hamden to Hollywood, we are your source for Quinnipiac's entertainment news.
From Hamden to Hollywood, we are your source for entertainment news.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Joel Vanner.
And I'm Alex Taglieri.
The Quinnipiac Athletics Bobcat Challenge ended this weekend. After a successful inaugural year last year for the Bobcat Challenge, this year proved to be just as successful. Sitting on top of the leaderboard with the highest number of donors and amount in donations is the field hockey team with 465 donors and over $15,000 raised. 100% of the donations raised for all teams goes right to the team.
The Asian Student Alliance hosted Ramen Night last Friday in the lower cafeteria. The event was a way for students to try different flavors of ramen and bond with others who share a love for the classic comfort food. I don't know about you, but this sounds like my kind of event. WQAQ announced that Real Big Fish will be headlining its annual Springfest concert, which is taking place this Saturday at 7 p.m. in Burtcon Court. The band is a ska punk group best known for the song Sell Out, which gained mainstream success in the late 90s. Joining the band is opener Acerol Invictus, a progressive rock band from Boston. Tickets to the concert are free for Quinnipiac students and available online now.
Well, Alex, spring has sprung at Quinnipiac University. As the weather starts to warm up, we asked Quinnipiac students how they plan to enjoy the season we've all been waiting for after a long winter.
Karina Kamey made her way around campus to find out. Let's take a look.
I enjoy spring by coming out in the beautiful weather and spending time with my friends and grilling up some stuff and blowing bubbles.
We like spring because we get to play soccer again.
Spring, I get to wear my pastel shorts and these awesome socks. It's a fashion statement. I love spring. Let's go!
Go ahead.
I like to eat veggie burgers outside.
We like to do homework outside.
When we come back, Kaylee Heavey has some interesting news to share with us.
Plus, Matt Fortin sat down with a local rapper. He has the story coming up next. On April Fools, it's only fitting that we have some weird news to share.
From an EDM artist preventing mosquitoes from mating to a court order against drinking Pepsi, Kaylee Heavey is here with the strangest stories of the week.
Thanks, guys. A skunk in Massachusetts brewed up some trouble when it got its head stuck in a beer can. Animal Control in Massachusetts found the skunk last Thursday and took it to Tufts Wildlife Center in North Grafton. It had to be sedated to remove the can from its head. In a picture posted by Animal Control, you can see the skunk's head stuck in a can of Bud Light. Poor little guy. X-rays which were done on the skunk showed no harm and he's in good condition. He was monitored for a few days following the incident but has since been released. Up next, put down the bug spray. There might be a new way to protect against mosquitoes. A study has found that a song by Skrillex could be an effective way to protect against the insect. To test this theory, insects and disease scientists from around the world played the dubstep song. The team said sound is crucial for reproduction, survival, and population maintenance of animals. Scientists discovered that this type of music can reduce blood feeding and disrupt mating in mosquitoes. These insects are known for spreading life-threatening diseases, and this study could control measures against them. So the next time you're at a barbecue, instead of burning those awful-smelling candles to repel the mosquitoes, just listen to some Skrillex. And finally, a judge in Hawaii has ordered a man to stay away from his favorite soda as part of his probation. 21-year-old Christopher Montanello Jr. was caught driving a stolen car last June. The suspect told the police his cousin allowed him to take the car to get his favorite drink, a Pepsi. This was set in place after he couldn't admit that he was guilty to unauthorized control of a vehicle and driving without a license. An agreement stated that the 21-year-old would get probation with no jail time, and he was required to do 100 hours of community service, pay a $100 fine, and he could no longer drink Pepsi. That's all I have for Weird News this week. Alex, Joel, back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Kayla. I always love the weird news stories, and that poor skunk, he was just trying to crack open a cold one with the boys.
I mean, if driving a stolen car and telling the judge that I was just out to get Pepsi gets me no jail time, a fine, and I can no longer drink Pepsi by law, I hate soda, as I know you do too, Alex. I think that's like what I'm going to do.
That's the new go-to.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully you don't ever have to be in that situation.
Well, you never know.
We have a backup plan now. But up next, Matt Forden got to meet a local rapper this weekend out of Bridgeport to hear his story.
He may not be famous yet, but that's what you can call him. Let's take a listen and a look at Famous.
Even after all the fame, love doesn't let me change.
You may not have heard of him yet.
I be allergic to rats, I start breaking out, so watch who you hang with.
But Bridgeport-based rapper Famous is working to become just that.
Hopefully they see me in a different light.
The 23-year-old is gearing up for the release of his first album called 90s, a name that encapsulates his signature style and sound.
I'm a 90s baby. I was born in 95 and I've always, my roots have always been stuck to 90s music. That gave me a good core of where my musical genes came from.
You all I need in this life is sin. My home girl, my life, you my only friend.
Famous was born as Kai Davis and has been establishing himself now for years with a string of successful singles on SoundCloud. With nearly 300,000 spins on the streaming site already, he's heading into album promo mode with quite the momentum behind him.
Why do you think people are connecting to your music and what you're putting out?
Most people my age are 90s babies, so when they hear it, it's just oh, I know that song.
Famous has been working on his music ever since making his first song as a freshman in high school.
And since then, I've kind of been picking up the pace with music, making more and being more comfortable in the studio.
Them nights I can't sleep.
He got his first taste for fame in 2016 when he took a stab at a freestyling challenge circling Twitter.
I don't know, you could call it the stars aligning.
He threw on a hat and a jersey, freestyled over the song, and posted it online.
And I'm sitting home alone and now I'm thinking.
I put my phone down on my bed and I kid you not, 2 seconds later, my phone was going off.
People from all over saying they were inspired by what he had to say.
I never really knew I would have an influence like that on people, to be honest with you.
This is where all the magic happens.
Now, Famous is putting the finishing touches on his most personal project yet, his first album, 90s.
I want to give you a storyline of where my life is right now.
Where are you going to be in 10 years?
Hopefully at the Grammys.
Grammys?
Hopefully. I'm shooting for a top 100 single in the next year or so, to be honest with you. I'm gonna fly my mama to the West Indies.
We got an exclusive preview of what could be that hit single. It's called When I Lost It and is one of the dozen or so songs set to be on the 90s album. It's slated for an April 20th release, which also happens to be Famous's 24th birthday. Just don't ask for too many more details.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'll let the music speak for itself.
Matt Forden, Q30 Entertainment.
I got the cheat codes, predicting the future now when I'm in beast mode.
Don't go anywhere, because when we come back, Brooke Reilly is here to give us the latest Hollywood dirt.
Plus, Alex and I will be making our way up to Starbucks and ordering each other's drinks. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Well, it's about time Tom Brady retired, or did he?
And there is a new celebrity holding the title of most popular Instagram celeb. Brooke Reilly is here with all the latest headlines out of Hollywood.
Thanks, Alex and Joel. The entertainment world is always buzzing with gossip and drama, and this week was no different. As we all know, today is April Fool's Day, and Tom Brady decided to pull a little prank of his own. He took to Twitter and wrote, quote, "I'm retiring in my spare time, I'll be tweeting," end quote. Brady did not previously have a Twitter, so this was the perfect first tweet. He reached almost 100,000 people in about 2 hours. Some fans clearly did not pay attention to the date and believed him. They responded with tweets of disbelief and disappointment. The New England Patriots were not very happy either. They replied to his tweet with a gif of Steve Carell as Michael Scott from The Office looking very sad. So what do you guys think? Was this a good joke or a little too extreme?
I mean, I thought it was a good joke. I think because it's on April Fool's, it was a good joke, but Tom Brady is 41 years old right now. His birthday's in August, so he will be 42 this year. And the average age of retirement for football players is 35 years old. So I feel like I was like, oh, okay, like expected.
I mean, people have been, guessing for years, like when he's going to retire. Is it going to be this year? Is it going to be next year? So it's definitely a plausible prank, and one that, I mean, he knew that when he tweeted this, it was going to cause a huge, social media panic. I know our housemate Kirby was napping and, woke up and didn't really realize that it was April Fool's and read it and was just distraught because, I mean, for Patriots fans, that's your guy. Without him, the team definitely wouldn't have been successful in the same way they've had over these past however long he's been playing. He's been there for ages, so when he does retire, it'll be crazy for them. And for him to just pull that and just pull on their heartstrings, that was a bold prank for him to.
Yeah, I think it was a win-win too, with the New England Patriots able to get in on the little bit of April Fool's action without really posting something on their own account, kind of taking advantage of the door that Tom Brady opened there. I think it was a good joke all around.
Yeah, I mean, neither of us are Patriots fans, so. Yeah. I mean,
disclaimer.
I guess we were kind of happy. When I saw it, I was like, oh, that's...
Congratulations.
Yeah. Nice. But I know if, I'm a huge Rangers fan. If Henrik Lundqvist did that, all of a sudden I would just be so lost and confused. I wouldn't even know what to do. So I'm happy for Patriots fans they didn't have to endure that. What do you think, Brooke? What did you think when you saw the tweet?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I thought that it was kind of funny. I'm not a Patriots fan either, but I did run into Kirby before, and he was telling me how he was so confused earlier today. I do think that maybe some Patriots fan might have thought it was a little too extreme there then. The Patriots kind of reacted in a funny way by responding with the GIF there, and I think all in all the crowd pretty much liked it.
Yeah, I mean, it comes right after Gronk announced that he's retiring, so that would have been a horrible double whammy for Patriots fans, but...
I think it teaches us a lesson to always wake up and know what day it is.
Yeah.
That's true.
Be ready for April Fool's Day.
Well, moving on to some sad news, Grammy-nominated rapper and entrepreneur Nipsey Hussle was found dead at age 33. At approximately 3:25 p.m. on Sunday, Hussle and 2 others were shot outside the rapper's Marathon clothing store. The other 2 injuries appeared to be non-life-threatening. Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti tweeted, quote, "Our hearts are with the loved ones of Nipsey Hussle and everyone touched by this awful tragedy. LA is hurt deeply each time a young life is lost to senseless gun violence. My crisis response team is assisting the families coping with shock and grief," end quote. Just hours before the shooting, Hussle tweeted, quote, "Having strong enemies is a blessing," end quote. Joel and Alex, it's always sad to hear this news, but with that tweet, do you think the rapper was expecting something to happen?
I mean, I definitely don't think he was expecting anything. When I saw that tweet, I kind of thought it was more of, you know, having enemies makes you stronger, like pushes you to prove them wrong. But this is just such tragic news, something that we see all too often, not just gun violence in general, but specifically against rappers. It's kind of crazy and definitely sad that it continues to happen.
Yeah, just to agree with Tegs, I think maybe his tweet was like being a little bit more philosophical or inspirational on some sort of event. I don't think he expected it to happen. I think what is impactful is the LA mayor's response saying each time a young life is taken, something to that extent, which kind of makes it seem like he's been saying this multiple times, which means there's some issue that needs to be addressed around gun violence or youth violence in the LA area. And XXX-Tentacion was killed actually in June 2018. That was something that was covered widely by entertainment outlets. He was shot inside his car in what seemed to be some sort of robbery feud gone wrong. He was in the news for some crimes that had happened. I hadn't heard of this rapper, you know, before this incident, but I do think that there's just something about maybe the circumstances or situations that these people find themselves in, that these things happen to them.
Yeah, I mean, it's so tragic. He had a hard life growing up, was always involved with gang violence and the repercussions of that, and he was actually planning a meeting with members of the LAPD to discuss, you know, ways that we could prevent gang violence, ways that we can promote peace, and it's so horrible that such a violent act would happen to someone who just wanted to, you know, find a peaceful solution. And Brooke mentioned he was an entrepreneur, so he had so much potential. He had his own clothing company, and he was shot right outside the clothing store. So I did see that people were speculating that, you know, he may have been shot by someone he knew. So I don't know. I have no idea what the motive could have been, but it is so tragic that it could have happened to someone with so much potential and so much ahead of them.
Right. I think, like, no matter when anything like this happens, you know, no matter who it is, everyone has a story that they have to tell with their life. I think the best thing that we can do, you know, as people is try to continue telling that person's story and contributing it to society so that they're not lost.
Definitely. What do you think, Brooke?
Yeah, I agree with you guys. It is really tragic to hear these stories. I was in Los Angeles last semester, and I know that I've heard several stories of things happening while I was out there. I do think that Eric Garcetti's handling it in a really good way, and there definitely needs to be some more discussion about these kinds of things. Speaking more on his music side, I also didn't really know who he was before the situation, but I think maybe more people might start realizing what kind of songs he has. He was nominated for a Grammy, so clearly he's a well-known rapper. What do you guys think? Do you think more people will start listening to his music?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think so. It's horrible that he had to have, you know, gotten some more publicity this way, but it definitely inspires people to take a look and, as Joel said, you know, keep their story going. Make sure they're not forgotten. So I really hope that people keep listening to his music for a long time.
And I think it reminds us to always look everywhere for any sort of entertainment, music, whether it's arts, movies. You know, don't just look at the surface of what we're presented, but definitely look everywhere, and maybe we might have, you know, discovered his music before.
Definitely.
Yeah. Well, moving on to a little bit more of a happier story. According to a Forbes article, pop sensation Ariana Grande has taken the title of the new queen of Instagram. With more than 150 million followers, she now has the most followers on Instagram and has surpassed Selena Gomez, who held the title steadily for several years. From her engagement call-off with Pete Davidson to the amount of albums and songs that Grande has released in less than a year, this doesn't really come as a surprise. According to Priscilla Castro, brand partnerships manager at Planoly, a visual management platform for Instagram, Grande uses an unconventional Instagram strategy. She makes several posts at the same time instead of just one or two throughout the day. She also hypes up new releases on her Instagram page. This led Thank You Next to become one of the most watched YouTube videos within 24 hours. Grande's strategy helps her gain more followers and get more views on her content. Joel and Alex, how do you guys feel about this strategy?
Well, I don't know. I feel like if it's not someone famous and they're posting multiple times a day, I sometimes question, why are you doing that? I think for someone who's famous, posting multiple times a day might be what's necessary because there's so much happening in your life. You have a pretty diverse group of fans. You want to communicate a message to all of them at the same time. I personally don't follow Ariana Grande on Instagram, but I did take a look at her feed, and something that really struck me the most, and I think this is why people are drawn to that social media platform for her, is that she often posts like crude videos that help give an inside look into her life. And what I mean by crude is not like bad videos, but they're just videos that aren't like professionally edited. Sometimes they're like a video recording a different screen that she just puts a filter on and uploads to Instagram, and people love that stuff. It's kind of content we can consume in a minute. Like, it doesn't take very much for us to like absorb what we're being presented with. But I think that's becoming all the rage now for anyone who's famous, to post those little like pieces of content that people can just view quickly.
Yeah, I mean, Ariana Grande is at the top of her game right now. She has so many singles that are just constantly playing on the radio, and people have loved her 2 most recent albums. So I think this makes sense that she'd be the most popular celebrity on Instagram. You know, people who love her music want to see the story behind how she records her music. They want to see like behind the scenes of her music videos, which is something she posts a lot. Her Thank You Next music video was a huge production. She recreated a bunch of scenes from different movies, and she posted a lot of behind the scenes pictures and videos from that. So, I mean, I'm not surprised that her fans are loving this content, that she is so popular on Instagram. But the posting multiple times a day is interesting. I know for me, I get really annoyed when people, even celebrities, post that much. I tend to just like tune it out. So I'm wondering, you know, how many people are actually like taking in what she's posting, or just scrolling past it because they're like, oh, another post from Ariana Grande. I
also think it's interesting. Instagram is like one of the most difficult social networks to like link to other things from. Because think about it, like you can't put a link in the description. You can swipe up in a story. You can put a link in your bio, but like putting links in your actual post is pretty complicated. You know, unless it's like a sponsored post or some sort of advertisement. So I think it's really interesting that she's taking to that platform to like promote her music the most.
Yeah, I mean, she is pretty big on Twitter too. I don't know how many followers she has, but I constantly see her tweets. I guess it just helps when a celebrity is more real. You know, there's so many celebrities that just seem like not even like people, you know, not like one of us, but when people post like tweets that you get to see like what's going on inside their head, or post on Instagram and like comment on their friends' post as well, which she did when she was dating Pete Davidson. She was always commenting on his posts. So it definitely helps make her more relatable, and I'm sure that's why people are drawn to her. And Brooke, you know, I have just under 149 million Instagram followers to go before I surpass Ariana Grande. So definitely something to look forward to, I guess, right?
Oh yeah, me too. Pretty far behind her, but I do think she does utilize her social media platforms well. But that is all the time we have for now, so back to you guys at the desk.
Ariana Grande is saying thank you next to a typical Starbucks drink. Curious about it? We were too. So we tried it to see what the hype is all about. Plus, in honor of April Fool's Day, we asked Q30 members about the best prank they've ever pulled. You don't want to miss that, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
I know it's been a while since you guys have seen us do a Starbucks taste test, but we're back better than ever with the Ariana Grande inspired Cloud Macchiato. Now, I have never had this before. Have you had this?
No.
typical Starbucks drink from the menu and created her own. She must be bored.
I wish I could do that, but her signature drink, the Cloud Macchiato, comes in cinnamon or caramel, and it can be served hot or cold. Hashtags Izzy and Sam tried the new drink for us, and let's see what they thought.
I know it's been a while since you guys have seen us do a Starbucks taste test, but we're back better than ever with the Ariana Grande inspired Cloud Macchiato. Now, I've never had this before. Have you had this?
No, I haven't, but I'm excited to try it. So I got the caramel Cloud Macchiato.
I got the cinnamon with soy milk, so we'll see. I know that the foam has eggs in it, so if you can't have that, just know that before you're ordering
Before you're getting it. So we're going to try this out, and like we said before, it was inspired by Ariana Grande, which I think is really cool. In it, so
oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it's like really good, so I think that something like that would probably be like my drink if I had one, but yeah. All right, you ready to try it?
Yeah.
All right. Cheers.
That is very sweet.
Yeah, no, it's definitely really sweet, although like mine tastes pretty, mine's like good. I like it. I don't know, how's the cinnamon one?
It's good. It reminds me of something. I don't know what though, hang on.
Yeah, it tastes just like a caramel macchiato. I feel like because it's hot, the foam kind of melted, so you don't really taste it as much, but I feel like maybe if you got it iced, you'd be able to taste it more.
I don't think I would like it cold. I don't think so. Because like for me, the cinnamon, I wanted it to like dissolve in, same with the caramel.
Yeah.
It's good. I didn't think I'd like it, but I actually do.
Yeah. No, it actually tastes really good, so definitely recommend trying it out if you want to.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like an upgraded caramel macchiato, so if you like that, I feel like it would be something you should try.
I've never had a macchiato, but I'm assuming that it's good. I'll trust your opinion.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm Sam.
And I'm Izzy.
So thank you guys so much for coming to taste the Starbucks drink with us.
Hopefully you'll enjoy them and get them next time you go. Bye.
Bye.
In honor of Ariana Grande creating her new drink, Joel and I are going to be taste testing each other's Starbucks orders. So Joel, what do you usually get?
Well, Tags, Alex, sorry, Tags is your nickname. I keep it pretty complicated. I usually get a venti, grande for the stream though, a grande vanilla sweet cream cold brew with 2 shots of ristretto espresso.
Okay, I've never had cold brew. I've never had ristretto espresso, so we will see. I get a flat white, and the only reason I got it is because the name really struck me. It doesn't sound like any drink. It doesn't give any explanation of what's in it. So I just started to get it, and I actually really like it. So I'm excited to see what you think. So should
Cheers.
we? Yep. I think it's pretty mild, this drink. I don't really like coffee, so I don't like really strong coffees. But I think the ice and the cold brew makes it less bitter. I don't know. Do you notice that when you drink it?
I do. I think what I really like out of it is the vanilla flavor, and then the fact with the 2 shots of espresso, it like really like wakes you up. Like the ristretto it's like a short shot with less water, so there's more coffee in the shot, so it's stronger than like your typical shot. So I usually get that because if I need a coffee, chances are I need it really bad, so it really, really wakes me up.
Yeah, I would get this. I've been exhausted with all like homework and things, so good to know.
Yeah, and definitely like vary your level of the sweet cream that you put in there, because like if you don't want it like so light, you can put less sweet cream, but then the shot gets stronger. So it's a drink that you can change depending on how you feel during the day.
You can be your own bartender.
You can be your own bartender.
What did you think of the flat white?
It tasted like a regular iced coffee to me. I definitely enjoyed it. I can definitely taste the espresso and the flat white. I cheated and I looked it up on the Starbucks app, and I actually really like the picture that they use for it, and I'm a visual learner, so maybe I'll just start ordering that based on the picture. But other than that, it definitely just tastes like a regular iced coffee. I definitely see why you like it, considering you like that.
Yeah,
it's just
similar.
It's a less dressed up version of my drink, so everyone can't be like me.
Less obnoxious to order.
You're right. You're right. So that's all the time we have for this week, unfortunately. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Q30Entertain and on Facebook at Q30 Entertainment for more episodes and content.
And don't forget, as the end of the semester quickly approaches, we still have a few shows left. Be sure to tune in same time, same place next week for another episode, and that is no joke.
Good night, Quinnipiac, and that's no joke either.